right, so we got the crossways and lengthways stretched in this square right here anyway. And we just finished up here, going that way. After we did what we said yesterday, tied off here, went that way, got 2 stretches, tied off about 1 foot of this wall, then got 1 more stretch, tied all that off. Obviously we use the kneeless to push that back a little bit to stick it, and then we stretch this way here, got it to come right up here, finished up this way. Then once all that was done, we was able to come tie this whole wall off, get 1 more stretch right there, jump across that hallway area right there, and then stretch, finish that up. Now you can see how much of a bulge we got right there from stretching there and then there. Now I'm fixing to cut the corners down there, get me a nice pool, probably 2 pools, right up in the center of that right there. Then I'll just go side to side, both ways. I'll go that way and that way with the kneeless. That way it's not getting too crazy either way and causing puckers at the corners. I'll go both directions as I'm going back with the kneeless. I work at an angle like this, boom, 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 and then I will go boom, 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 like that, at an angle the whole way. When I do this, I like to go back and forth, side to side over the seam, rather than just trying to center my seam with the roller like that. I'll work this way and then I'll work back over this way and back this way, and always will go over the point. Like my iron stopped right here, I want to go over that point right there. A good little distance, because a lot of times what will happen is if you stop right there where the glue is real running, and then it'll just push the glue up right there, and you'll have a bead of hard glue rather than a flat smashed out hot glue. Okay, so whenever that bead of hot glue dries without it being flattened out, you guess it's going to be a hard spot in the tape. So another thing that'll help on these Berber seams, if you will take and get your fibers to knuckle. What I mean by that is, instead of the fibers button up to one another just straight like that, right there, like this, if you'll actually get them to sit beside one another like that, it'll just go together a whole lot better than trying to get them to butt together and look good with them butted straight up like that. Just stagger it just a hair so they will go right in between one another. Sometimes it'll work out really nice. If it don't, what I'll take and do, you can see this one right here is really working out real good. Come right down here. So watch the zigzag. See the zigzag in and out of them, and then watch it go right together. See how that just kind of knuckles right together. One piece falls right. So this piece right here falls right in that. Every void here, there's a piece over here sticking out to fall right in that place. So when it goes together, it's super nice. However, right here, it might be a little different. And as a matter of fact, it is. So you can see this bump and that bump right there. They are directly across from one another. So therefore, that's not going to look as good as it does right here. So what I like to do when it gets to situations like that, I'll actually take the fibers and kind of pull one way, pull the other way, and that will cause them to knuckle right in there beautifully, just like that. Okay, so this is a little bit funny room here, how we're gonna have to do this. We row cut it, joined it onto our hallway. So therefore, now I have to stretch this into that cubby and into that cubby as well. It would have been nice to do this seam last, but then there would be no guarantee that it would be straight with the hallway piece and been a pickle trying to row cut it. So get me a couple stretches up here this direction. Get it turned, stretched this direction up there in that cubby. Then I'll turn directly around and go. Add a little bit of an angle to that corner. Then I'll kick around, angle my stretchers back this direction, jump across that doorway again, boom, 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 finish up to the corner. Then this is where it's going to get a little tricky, is on this corner right here. I'll keep coming back this way, but at the same time, I gotta have a good stretch that way. So if I go all the way this direction and then jump over to this wall and keep going that way, it's gonna be tied off here. When I stretch this that way into those closets and up to that little wall right there, I'm gonna have a huge pucker right there. So I'll show you guys how I do that here in just a moment. There's definitely a little bit of back and forth there, but it is the best way to do it given this situation. Let me come right over here. So we are about an inch away right now. So it's gonna be a little, nothing too dramatic or anything like that. This stuff stretches like crazy. But what I did, I gave myself an extra 6 inches to cut off of the edge of my field piece so I could get 6 inches into the material. I didn't think about that when I measured this. I measured 6 extra inches, and then I add 6 more inches to replace the 6 inches I was taking off to get 6 inches into the material for my field piece. So therefore this turned out 8 foot instead of 8'6", and 8 foot was this close. So anyway, it ain't no big deal because this stuff stretches like crazy. It is like that all the way down. It'll be okay even in the closet because it stretches like crazy. So you see the tack strip, how far away it is in there. Again, that's because I allowed for the baseboard to go down and then the tack strip be set properly so that the tack strip is not sitting underneath of the baseboard when it goes down. So that's why there's such a huge gully. Anyway, watch this right here disappear. And I am at a huge angle. Look at my tailpiece, see where I'm at? I'm all the way on the opposite side of the doorway to get myself a nice angle. So about 4 foot from the wall and all the way to the wall right here with my headpiece. That's how much my angle is. Watch it stretch right there. Watch this disappear. Super easy to get. Again, this carpet right here works really, really well. And with the tri-tack, it is just, it's a no-brainer. It just works so nicely. Stay right there. I don't know how many of you guys have this Crane 510 extension tube right here with this lever on it. If you don't have one of these, it's definitely worth buying. I couldn't imagine going back to the push buttons and doing that and pulling it up. Never thought about really how uncomfortable and awkward it was until I get used to that. Now I couldn't imagine going back to the push button. It would just be so uncalled for. We'll just say that there's no sense in it. Then they got something that's easier and better. I'll get one more stretch here, and then we'll turn around and start going lengthwise. Okay, so where it was an inch short, now I've got an inch up on the wall, so that's at least 2 inches of stretch. Super easy. I didn't even get crazy on that. This stuff just works well. If you have never worked with earth weave carpet, do yourself a favor and recommend it to your clients if they want some natural carpet. You'll thank me for bringing it up to you because it's such a pleasure to work with. So I opted out on the directions that I just told you. I started to stretch there, and then I looked and I was like, man, if I start going at an angle this direction, even if it's a slight angle, I'm going to have a little bit of issue right here on the corner. So I just stopped. This is actually my first stretch right here to this corner. I'll go ahead and secure it off, and then I'll just work this right to my corner at this angle. And once that's done, then I can jump over to this spot right here, working at that angle. Everything will be fine. Everything's gonna work real good like that. So I talk about using this to set walls and everything like that. Every single wall that I pull from that I'm not using my stretchers to stretch up to, I will use this little guy just like this at an angle. You can see the angle I got here, and push it right up and stick it on the strip. It definitely keeps you from banging your knees, and also the smooth action of this lever going down rather than a jar from the bump of a kicker is definitely easier on the carpet rather than jarring the teeth that are sunk into the backing of the kicker. This is a gradual push, just like a stretcher would. Therefore, it does less damage on the carpet than a traditional knee kicker because of that fact right there, that it does not jar or like a power kick or something, just the teeth sticking in the carpet, and then all of a sudden, this is like this. Watch this. So now the teeth are in, so see that? Just ease down. Even when I'm moving remotely fast, just like I was right before I stopped there, it still is not a jar on the backing using this opposed to using a knee kicker. Plus you don't hurt your body. This, I've stressed this a lot. You guys still get questions about it. Yes, this thing is absolutely worth the $500, how much ever the guy charges. It's made like a beast. It's going to last you, one of them is going to last you for the rest of your life, okay? You need this to prolong your career, okay? I'm not selling for the guy or nothing like that. This is looking out for you. Go get yourself a kneelesspete.com, okay? kneelesspete.com, or actually I think it's a kneelessstretcher.com, I believe is what it is. And the guy's out of Canada, he makes them himself. So it's definitely worth it right there. The kneeless. I'll never not have one of these. I'll always have one of these for the entirety of my career. It's definitely worth it. Okay, so I got this completely done up that way. This is what I was talking about, the little weird spot here. So what I did, I brought my stretchers back here this direction. The lever's down. It does have tension on it right here. I'm taking that little pucker. It wasn't actually as much as I thought, but I'm taking that and working it up and over that direction at the same time. I stopped cutting. See where I got right here? I still got about 3 inches or so. Give myself plenty of room so that I wouldn't pull off. And I'm using this always at an angle, stretching up this way and that way at the same time. I know what you're thinking. See, I already used it going back that way whenever I set that wall, so it's already been stretched once that way. Now that it's tied off, I can get a good pull this direction. You're saying, wow, that's not really suitable for getting a good enough stretch to do a room. You're exactly right, it's not. That's why I'm using my stretchers. But in this little area like this, watch this. I just want you to see the stretch. Here's the tie-off point right here, right? I'm running it at an angle. This stretch is coming here because I'm at an angle. It's not coming from here, it's coming from here. So watch this carpet move right there, okay? See that? And I'm not even getting crazy, I'm just working it, okay? So it definitely gets a stretch on it, okay? No doubt about it. Now, if I do that all the way across right there, this is gonna be tight enough to bounce a quarter on, like people do to test the tightness. I guarantee it. Going. Okay. Now remember, I got my seam about 2 foot from the wall here, so it's I can't really tell, somewhere right down through here, I think. Anyway, it's 2 foot from there, and here I am doing my stretches. And I'm not overkilling it, or I'm not underachieving. I'm just doing what I need to do to ensure a proper stretch. And do I have to worry about my seam breaking? Absolutely not. Because it's done right with premium tools and premium products. So I don't have to worry about that thing going apart. I proved here a while back on a demonstration video about how tough a seam actually is when it's put together right. And I've heard people say it forever, and that's why I wanted to test it. If you do a seam proper, the carpet will rip or break elsewhere before the seam gives away. That's absolutely correct. I tested that myself. I got a video on it. As a matter of fact, if I can think about it when I'm uploading this, I will put it in the description so you can see it. I was very, very, very impressed with the strength of the seam, okay? Very. So, again, if you're putting your seams together proper, you don't have to worry about where you're stretching at, because they're going to hold you. You're not going to have to worry about pulling your seams apart, okay? That's good. Okay, we now have this room all done. Check it. Checking it twice. I love how flat this stuff looks. And we got the hallway. Got it all nice and purdied. All nice and purdied. Down through there. And the exact same thing right over here. Looks good, looks good, looks good. And we got this stretched in first thing this morning right off of the Busy Bat. Got it all done. So now all we lack is the steps. This is all good. Man, I tell you what, I certainly love the feel of this. This is a great filling carpet with that pad under it. It's a good pad and a good carpet, and I tell you what, it just feels so good. And something else I love about it, let me get somewhere where the light's not really killing everything. I just love. I just love how flat it looks, man. Just super duper flat carpet. Really nice. And just like always, thank you guys for tuning in to the Daily Grind. Until tomorrow, FBSB's out.